All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of I don't even know what we've decided to call this yet. I want to say the Driveify Experience, but we'll see what happens. Today, I only have one camera, unfortunately, because I'm an idiot and didn't get an SD card for the other one. But nonetheless, that is not going to impact anything on this overall experience. Today, we are in the Audi R8. Now, this is the V8 version. This is the Generation 1, but this is a great bang for buck car if you're just trying to have a little rental rocket. And we'll find out exactly what my thoughts are as we get into it, because I've never actually driven an R8 up until now. So this is brand new to me, unlike the Jag, which I have driven before. Just gonna get all adjusted here. But so far, I like the interior. Freaking sweet. The old key fob. Yeah. Feels just like my Volkswagen key fob. Typical. I love it. So this is the automatic. One thing that you will notice quickly in this car is the exhaust is loud as shit. Because it has an aftermarket exhaust. That is my favorite part about this car, because it is German muscle. Interesting. All right. That's a very interesting gear selector. Very tight. Very tight. All right. There we go. I figured out the word. Very tight steering wheel. Dude, this thing is so loud. All right, first thing that I immediately notice is the transmission is a little bit on the slower side of things. That is a known thing with these years. But again, this is not a car that you're going to be thrashing on too much. I'm curious to see how the transmission is going to act once we're in sport mode and all warmed up. So we'll see what happens there. This car I would purely get for the looks and the sound. All right. I like the AC, nice. I really like the interior here. Very simple, very spacious. This is perfect for a big guy like me. As a reminder, I am 6'4", and arguably not the skinniest of people either. So it's perfect. This car does get looks. That is another factor. The R8, doesn't matter if it's the first or the second gen, people know what it is. It is one of the most famous cars for a reason. Now, we are going to let the car warm up a little bit and get a little further away. So Driveify has a number of vehicles. So they are one of the few people in Minnesota that rent really awesome cars out. So for example, last week we had the F-Type R, this week's the R8, the Porsche GT3, the Huracan, and so many more. They got an amazing selection for all types of driving styles. This one, again, kind of fits in that cruiser category. Now, when we do open it up, that might change my mind, but so far, it's just great for chilling. It actually really surprises me how much space is in here. This is pretty awesome. Honestly, even though, because I've heard this car from the outside, my buddy rented this a few months ago when he came to town, in the winter as well. Like, it's a great car to just come into town and rent for a day. The value is definitely there. I think this one's like, middle 300s or low 400s for a full 24-hour rental, which is amazing in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, take this thing out to dinner, have a little bit of fun. I know the Driveify guys, they get a lot of great feedback from people that rent their cars. And the nice thing is this car, while it is fast to many, keep in mind that I guess a lot of us car enthusiasts, we have driven some really fast cars over the years. So this car is kind of like in that middle range. It's about 430 horsepower. It's enough to get you in trouble, but not like it is tame enough to control, if that makes any sense. I actually am really obsessed with this interior. It's actually really, like, I don't know, it just feels like it was made for me. My buddy Ben, he has a V10 one, and that car's a blast as well. Went for a ride in that. I can't remember if this one's lowered. I'm pretty sure it is. It is 100% one of the better looking R8s out there, because this generation, in my opinion, was notorious for horrendously stock wheels, or horrendous looking stock wheels, sorry. Some of you, all right, that actually got up to speed fairly quickly, and I was like barely on the throttle. Some of you may remember, if you're early fans of me, that I actually did race this car with my Golf GTI. That is not admission. I like using my car as a benchmark, right? Because it's not stock. It's about 380 to the wheels, so it's zippy. So everything else is a great metric against that, because now what I'm able to do at the end of this video is I'm going to be able to tell you where does this car fit practicality-wise, where does it fit speed-wise, performance-wise, and all that fun stuff. One element to the series that I might add is the gas station. I might just start stopping at gas stations to just see like how many people look at it. Because at the end of the day, this car is a looker. Steering isn't very responsive, but again, it is worth remembering that this car is a little bit older and it is the entry-level R8. Note to self, add a radar detector. Yeah, that car, oh wow, it actually does go pretty high in the rev range. So it goes up to like 8,000, I think. Okay, that is checking for cops. So maybe this car's a little more trouble than I thought it would be. It's actually, it is on the zippier side, but that sound is everything I need it to be, dude. All right, please get out of the way. What are you doing? I don't know how to describe it. This car is as if you gave the Germans a bucket of yeehaw, because it's got that just V8, but just sounds phenomenal. But if we are going to be completely honest, this transmission is definitely a little lunky, which again, it doesn't hurt the experience, because if you're just driving this thing for the hell of it, you're not too worried about the transmission. You're focusing on the things that are fun. All right, I think we're gonna rev this one out a little bit. All right, downshift. God, that is a phenomenal sound. That is, wow. Again, I love every freaking thing about this car. I'm so mad at Audi for not just putting a slightly better transmission in here. And if you do go into manual mode and you just kind of forget about it like I just did, it'll just automatically downshift for you, which is pretty sweet. Damn, that dude just ran that light. But I just love being able to go pick up the car and just take it out. So for most renters, typically what they'll do is they'll have a little lockbox. You get a code and beep, boop, boop, bop, you get the key. So it's a really seamless experience. How does this compare to the Jaguar? Honestly, I think for me, the Jag. Don't get me wrong, this car is a fun car, but I need to figure out which light I gotta turn at. All right, let's get one thing straight though. This car, it edges out the Jag in the looks category. It does look better. And I haven't done an official rating yet on either car because I still have to edit the Jaguar video. But if the Jag, let's just pretend. Let's say the Jag is a 6, this is a 7. So looks wise, maybe even like an 8 compared to the Jag, right? So there's that. It has that going for it. It has the look for it. I like the spaciousness. In the performance category, the Jag definitely wins, and for good reason too. Why? Well, because it's a newer car, because it's got more horsepower in it. It's just a little bit better overall. But this car is a cruiser. I don't feel scared to drive it at all. People are always looking at it. Literally, like the guy just drove by, they're like looking at it. I mean, it gets the attention that it does deserve. In the practicality category, I'd say they're about equal. I'd say I lean more towards the Jag. It has more trunk space. So if you are coming to town to do something, or you want to take it out and about for a weekend or a week, you can definitely do a lot more with it. It's definitely a car that was made for taller people. The Jag wasn't bad, don't get me wrong on that front. This is just so much better. Now, how scary is it to drive around town? I just crossed the railroad. No worries at all. I didn't have to take it at an angle, nothing crazy. Now, granted, if you're going up a very steep driveway or something, then yes, you might have to take that into consideration, as with any sports car. But it's #1 redeeming quality. The Jag does sound great, but this sounds so much more raw. It's so loud. It is so unbelievably loud from the outside. I'm not sure if I just ran a light. No, I didn't. We're good. And that wing back there, oh my gosh, I forgot about that wing. Like, it's a sleek car, man. This car reminds me of, like, let's say a beautiful woman. Where am I gonna take this? You'll find out. Anytime I say something like that, people get so worried. But no, this car 100% reminds me of a beautiful woman that knows she's beautiful. You get in this car and you're like, I'm in a freaking R8. You know, again, V8 doesn't matter because 95% of the people on the road will not know that. But this car knows what it is. It knows where it comes from. And it's close to what it needs to be. If only that transmission was just a little dialed in. But look at this. I'm able to record a video, have a conversation, no problem. Like, the sound editing is just good enough. But from the outside, this car is an animal. The downshifts, they sound phenomenal. The best car experience is the one where you can cruise and enjoy it, and then at any moment, just turn the switch and you're freaking flying. The best cars are the ones that give you a choice, and this car gives that to you in spades. And this is probably like the responsible renter's car, in my opinion. Like, again, it's not too fast to get you in trouble, but it's fast enough to have some fun. So if I had to choose, which one would I rent from Driveify personally? That's actually a tough one, because it depends how you feel, right? The Jag overall just feels more refined because it does have, whatever, 10 more years on this car. You know, it's the young buck on the block. But if I want to show up to a show and get some attention, or if I want to, you know, park VIP at, like, let's say Ruth Chris or something, or have a night out in the city, I'd be hard-pressed to not choose the Jag. Sorry, the light turned green. The light turned green and I got distracted. I meant the R8. It's a faux supercar. And again, it has everything except for the drivetrain. But it has everything else you would need in a supercar. And isn't that kind of what, I mean, it is a bargain to rent in that regard. All right, and now to return this to the Driveify guys. I love these guys, man. They are so good at what they do. The marketing, the quality of everything. I wish I could take some of their other cars for a rip today. That Supra's on my bucket list for sure, and a GT3. Those are the two cars I want to rent the most. Where's park? All right. Where's the park button? There's no park button?
Yeah, you just leave it and turn off the car.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
I'll trust you.
That's it.
What do you say?
All right, cool. So this is probably our favorite car of the fleet.
Okay.
It is very slow compared to other cars.
100%.
And the transmission's super slow. It's as if like you're just telling them like, oh, shift. They're like, oh, okay, shift.
Yeah, it's like trying to teach somebody how to drive manual.
Exactly.
Yeah, the delay.
That's exactly
yeah.
what it is. But the character that this car has, and the exhaust noise, and how it looks, and just how it feels to drive, because you sit so low, like it's just.
I think
like, I'd rather take this because like there's always a car that's always faster, better, but like to experience this is way different than to always trying to be the fast guy.
That's 100%. Like that's one thing that we even touched on in the video is if I had to choose between the Jag and the R8, the Jag is a better driver, but if you want to take this out for a night, if you want to have a good time, this is the one because it's the faux supercar.
For sure. And like, I mean, you can buy a RSD, which is cheaper, which will be faster, more daily friendly, more seats, but like, when you see this driving, everybody's just like, whoa, what is that? It's an R8, you know? And like, you just have a good time driving this. Like, you don't care, you're always ripping it.
Yeah. Well, you guys stylistically, you guys made it look like you had to question if it's a V10 or a V8. Oh. Stylistically, like it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I appreciate you guys letting me rent this.
Hey, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah, we will. High five. Woo. Woo. So we're back in the Gulf. Just want to wrap up with a few quick notes, especially after talking to Ben. That car is a great bang for the buck. But ultimately, guys, be sure to subscribe, you know, comment what you want to see next. Stop running the stop sign. But ultimately, guys, just comment what you want to see next on this. They have a number of cars that I'm going to be checking out here soon. I'm really itching to dig into that GT3 and the Supra. So make sure to like and comment and subscribe. I really do appreciate all the support that this channel's been getting these last few months, especially with the podcast. I know so many of you have been enjoying the podcast, and I do hope to have these guys on at some point here. So let me know who we should have on next. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I look forward to the next part of the Driveify experience. I don't know, that's not an intro or outro, whatever. The next part of the Driveify experience. See you next time.